I found myself on Friday not really enjoying that promo that he cut. I think it was a lot of the same old stick where it's, line after line that we've heard before, and there was no further storytelling in terms of what we have going on currently.
This is the Casual Wrestling Show. Casual Wrestling Show.
Like with the big swerve in the plans by Triple H as far as turning The Rock heel and kind of laying into this Hollywood Rock for the story of the Bloodline and Cody Rhodes, on Friday it appeared to me that The Rock might have been knocking off a little bit of ring dust when it comes to character work. My question for you, are you 100% sure that The Rock will be able to work the Hollywood Rock version of his character all the way through WrestleMania?
I think you would assume that there's going to be limited appearances by The Rock, right? He's not going to be on every week. So that kind of factors into my answer here. I think that he can, because of the limited appearances. I found myself on Friday not really enjoying that promo that he cut. I think it was a lot of the same old stick where it's, line after line that we've heard before, and, throwing a couple insults, and there was no further storytelling in terms of what we have going on currently. And I think that could be an issue as we continue on to WrestleMania. Like, I'm still wondering what he whispered to Cody when Cody gave up his WrestleMania spot. There's a lot of stuff that has to be answered here, and I'm not sure that I've seen Rock be a complete storyteller before. I think he's been a good shit talker, but I don't know if he's been a good storyteller on the mic, and I think that's where I'm kind of like iffy. Obviously, he's been in Hollywood now for years, so if there's anybody that could adapt, I would assume it's him, right? But the Hollywood thing, I think with the swerve, I think, obviously the fans changed this whole trajectory of where this thing's going. I guess all I can really say is that I'll sit back and see what happens. But with the limited appearances, I think that we can kind of get something going towards WrestleMania, but it remains to be seen.
So my opinion on this is I think The Rock's been put in almost an impossible situation because we know his talent, right? We know he's capable of doing all these things, but I think he's being asked to almost subliminally play two different characters. He's got to play the bad guy. He's got to be Hollywood Rock, but he's got to protect a certain amount of this Roman Rock mystique that we still know is coming later on. My concern is that there is mic rust. It's been 20 plus years since The Rock had to get in the ring and play a character. Every other time he's been in wrestling, he's been Dwayne Johnson. And he's came out and, like you said, he's the king of the slogan. He's the king of the one-liner. He can and even when he stumbles, he can always bring it back by hitting him with a Cody Crybaby or your herpes or something like that. He always gets the pop that brings the crowd back. But I'm worried a little bit because we haven't to play a full-on character for The Rock in wrestling. It feels a little bit unnatural at this point. It feels like he's gotten used to just coming back and being the big lovable guy who gets to go off script and say what he wants. And it felt a little bit like this time that, hey, you've got to work within the confines of the story. You've got to move this along. And like you said, he struggled to really push that forward. I know when he was doing the promos with Cena called him out for writing things down on his arm. That's how hard this is that you do need those little tricks. And now Cena exposed that, so you can't lean on that. And when he went into the whole 49ers Super Bowl, I get what he was doing. And I think Prime Rock pulls that off and it's perfect, but he stumbled. And then I think he got in his own head a little bit and it became this weird, like, the fuck is he saying? Like Cody did earn his opportunity back. You're doubling down on Cody's point of view. I'm with you. I think he's going to show up. I think The Rock's committed on this run. I mean, were they not? They're advertising him this Friday, no?
Are they?
I thought so. I thought I saw in commercials they're advertising. I think he's going to show up. I think his investment in the company, he proved me wrong. I think he's here for this. I think this is his main focus right now. I think he probably knows this is the last one he's got in the chamber. But yeah, I mean, I got 60% confidence that he pulls this off. I think at a certain point, if it's not working, he aborts and he just goes back to being Dwayne. And here's the reality about Dwayne Johnson. He's a little bit of an egomaniacal maniac anyway, so he can be a bad guy. I don't think we needed Hollywood Rock. The Rock is a little bit out of touch with the real world. So if he just comes in and plays Hollywood elitist, I think people turn on him anyway. I think there's a little bit of The Rock protecting his ego by the fans turned on him as Dwayne Johnson. And I think he's going, well, I'll give them The Rock so they can be mad at The Rock. And I think that's a little bit of what's happening here. One other thing that I think bothered me about the promo was, I don't want to use like this analogy, but it felt like a dick measuring contest between him and Roman, right? Like at some point, they're going to have to establish who the alpha is in that ring and have them talk and go back and forth. And I think there is a fear that The Rock will overshadow Roman. And so do they, is this by choice that they're kind of keeping them apart? Because it was a weird kind of storyline bit for Roman to bring him out, but then they don't really acknowledge each other or talk to each other. The Rock just cuts a weird promo. To me, that felt a little bit weird to me, like a power struggle. Yeah,
I was actually going to ask a question on that. It seems to me that like they're making Roman look small so far.
Yeah,
and I'm concerned about that because that's supposed to be your main event guy this year. And if he's looking small going into your biggest main event of, all time, they're, whatever they claim.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about that as if this is going to be The Rock's show and you guys are the supporting cast. And I don't think this is how this should shape it. It's cool right now.
Yeah.
It's cool right now.
Exactly.
But we can't go into Mania with that being the circumstance.
Yeah. I think that was my uncomfortableness with the whole situation was like, it feels like Rock has to fall in line for the story to work. Even if he's going to turn on Roman at some point and be the alpha, he almost has to acknowledge Roman as head of the table. And I know there's like the subliminals of like he pointed at Roman when he said what he said, and I get that's fun. But at some point, for the casual wrestling fan, you're gonna have to line this out where Roman is the guy. Because you're right. Right now, when I look at this, Rock is the guy. And it almost feels like Cody and Roman is the sideshow to The Rock. And if that's going to be the case, make him the referee. Get him as involved as you can in this thing. But if he's just going to go in there and just one-line us to death, I don't know how good that is for the business. It'll be fun. It'll be real fun to watch. I just don't know how good that is for the business.
I agree.
All right, what you got?
Better bring it if we debating going toe to toe. No holding back, I'm speaking the facts. Let me introduce you to the Dope Show. Nerdy D and Milwaukee Mike, bringing the energy. If you a fan of wrestling and especially WWE, this is the Casual